다 들어가, 다 들어가. 뭐가 문제인 거지? 사 번 5번 봐봐도 7번 맞는데 사람하고 말했는데.
Please let me out. Please let me out. Please let me out. Please let me out. Please let me out.
아, 이거 뭐가 있네? 잠깐. 아, 내가 이거를 안 바꾸네. 커트 만치오스 유언장가 쪽지? 뭐야? 유언장에 붙어있는 작은 쪽지에는 이렇게 적혀있다. 산토스 이 꿈 많은 군뱅이, 네가 내 유언장에 넣어달라고 예언해서 그렇게 했다. 유언장 최종 수정본을 보여주마. 커트. 쪽지 아래 유언장에 글귀는 다음과 같다. 만치오스 저택의 집사장 산토스 핀체티에게는 마음 따뜻한 고용주 커트 만치오를 항상 기억할 수 있도록 코스염 왁스 한 단지와 소금 램프를 준다? 이게 뭐야? 코스염 왁스 한 단지, 소금 램프? 야,
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
얘 뭔가 지금 저기에 뭐가 있나 보네. 이 사람이 뭔가 꾸미고 있는 거 맞구만.
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage. Isn't that a little extreme, even for a major domo?
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle. And I'm his next of kin. The only one. Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love, cleaning up the filth after perverts and decadent. He's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is a new broom. That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a major domo.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. She died, and I was given the surname of one of the maids.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the leftovers. While he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties, he paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts for their disgusting relationship.
조롱했다. 뭐가 이어질 수 있을까? 한 핀체티는 유산을 얻을 수 있을 것이라는 간절한 희망으로 할 수 없이 커트 만치오를 위해 일을 해왔지만 그의 노력은 보상받지 못했다. 편지는 만치오에게 보낸 것일 수도 있다. 산토스 핀체티의 이야기와 편지 내용을 종합해보면 편지는 커트 만치오에게 보내는 것일 수도 있다. 이 쓰레기 같은 만치오스 어디 갔어?
I appreciate your cooperation, Mr. Manchios. Wait just a moment, I have something to check. There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high. That's not something I know much about.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin with.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him. I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchios.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
touché.
또 이야기해야 돼?
I don't know what to say.
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchios?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchios?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away.
또 있어? 말할 사람 없는데? 잠깐 다시 한 번 가볼까?
Please let me out.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
다 끝났네. 그렇다면 이제 추론. 버너 보겔은 다양한 약물에 취한 탓에 자기가 편지를 챙겼다. 커트 만치오는 버너 보겔 주머니 편지를 슬쩍 집어넣은 보겔이 의심스럽겠다. 네. 커트 만치오스가 살인범이다. 수년간 파비오가 커트 만치오의 마음을 가지고 놀며 이용했다. 만치오스는 또다시 파비오에게 거절당하자 파비오를 살해했고 의심을 피하고자 사랑의 의식을 꾸며냈다. 치정범죄. 커트 만치오스는 상심하고 공황에 빠진 상태였으며 파비오를 죽일 의도는 없었다. 의식을 치른 것처럼 즉흥적으로 꾸며낸 것은 살인을 덮어보려는 필사적인 시도였다. 사랑하는 연인의 죽음이라는 가혹한 처벌이 이미 내려졌으니 징역형으로도 충분할 것이다. 말도 안 돼. 죽일 의도가 없었다고? 커트 만치오스는 파비오를 냉혹하게 살해했다. 그는 마티스타에게 누명을 씌우려 살인 현장을 의식을 치는 것처럼 꾸몄다. 그는 편지를 보겔 주머니에 넣어 의심을 피했다. 만치오스는 다른 이들의 삶은 전혀 고려하지 않은 인간으로 교수형이 처해야 마땅하다 이거지. 맞고. 근데 만약에 다르게 한다면 이렇게 하고 이렇게 하고 이렇게 하고 이렇게 하고 하면 마티스타가 살인범이다. 마티스타는 파비오의 인기와 야망이 점점 커지는 것이 두려웠다. 그녀는 최대한 오랫동안 그를 붙잡고 싶어 했다. 궁지에 몰린 그녀는 마지막 시도로 사랑의 의식을 행했고 그 결과 그녀는 파비오를 죽이고 말았다. 짓밟힌 영혼. 마티스타는 고통스러운 삶의 산물이다. 그녀는 선과 악의 차이를 알지 못한다. 그녀는 연인인 파비오가 언제나 곁에 머물기를 원했다. 마티스타는 도움을 받을 자격이 있다. 정신병원에서 치료를 받고 과거를 극복해 나갈 기회가 주어져야 한다. 오컬트 살인범. 마티스타는 그녀의 비참한 삶에 대한 서력으로 오컬트를 이용한다. 그녀는 파비오를 곁에 두기 위해 찔렀다. 그녀가 저지른 짓에 대해 반드시 책임을 져야 한다. 어떤 판사라도 일말의 주저없이 그녀에게 사형 선고를 낼 것이다. 아니야. 성범죄자 선택. 사형.
Continue our investigation while I look for the papers.
만치오스, 너는 끝이야. 셜록 홈즈가 이제 너에게 영장을 집행할 것이야.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel, he had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
Early 60s.
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
The young performer played with your emotions. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You struck him, and then you staged the ritual. You planted the letter in Vogel's pocket and attempted to set up Matista.
What poppycock? Sherlock, stop this game now.
There is no stop word, Mr. Manchios. Relax and enjoy it. I'll pass the remainder of this case to Constable Oswald. He'll know what to do with you. I have a name for you. Kurt Manchios.
Is that so? The master of the Sabbath?
The man himself. Mr. Manchios couldn't stand to lose control over his lover. A deadly revenge that deserves a proper sentence. I have all the evidence to charge him.
A degenerate and a murderer. I'll make a name thanks to that for sure. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones, including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
옥상 위에 있다는 게 어디 있는데? 옥상에 있는데? 옥상 아닌데? 어디 있습니까? 있다는 거야. 경찰 기록 보관소 탁자 위에 두었다. 탁자?
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decision?
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity. And it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
I take your point. There are some limits on us all, some compromises we must make. Despite my best efforts, we cannot remain entirely objective.
I didn't want to sadden you, Sherlock, only to make you think beyond your boundaries. You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
I'm busy. You've already used up your quota of me helping you.
어딨어 증거가? 아 이건가? 사건 보고서. (07-43) 경관들이 현관에 도착해 바이올렛 홈즈로 시선이 확인된 고인의 스톤우드 저택 정원에 누워있는 것을 발견. 외관 검사 결과 피해자는 완전히 젖은 상태에 목에는 수직으로 난 5cm 깊이의 깊은 별개 자국이 있었음. 피해자의 얼굴은 붓고 빨간 반점으로 뒤덮인 상태. 예상사인 질식. 검시관의 확인을 기다리고 있음. 유력 용의자인 오토 릭터는 현장에서 체포됨. 시신은 부검을 위해 이송됨. 뭐야? 이송함.
Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
아니 저 정도로 확실한 사건이 어떻게 이해가 안 되네. 저렇게 확실한 사건이 어떻게 폐결핵으로 될 수가 있어? 그냥 홈즈만 그렇게 알고 있는 건가? 마이크로프트가 그렇게 이야기했어? 생각인 거야. 동생을 위했다 그런 건가? 뭐 이런 게 있었어? 어떻게 된 거야?
Sherry, please listen to me. Sherry,
John, I always listen to you.
you don't have to do this. You don't have to go through. I don't know what is beyond this door, but I can feel it. Buzzing, angry, like a fly at the window.
I know. I can sense it too.
You locked away this memory for a reason. There is only pain here.
Pain. And truth.
You do not need to suffer either. There is so much more we can do on Cordona, so many others we can help. There is no coming back from this.
John, my animum, my brother, there is nothing more important in this moment than this truth. I know you fear for me, but my path was set long ago. I can no more step off it than I can ask the avalanche to roll back uphill.
Just... please be careful, Sherry. I love you.
Quite. Come on. We'll go together. Why didn't I remember we had such a big garden?
Maybe you forgot it for your own good.
진짜 큰데? 너무 큰데?
That's the descendant of a tree your father planted in London, correct?
Indeed, we planted the sprout here, and for a while it grew happily. Alas, it seems without us here to care for it, it didn't survive. Ah, yes. The statue of Merope. My mother was trying to restore it. Pity she never had the opportunity to finish. Is that the raft we made together, John?
Looks more like a pile of rotten planks now.
Mother? That's from Mother's favourite tea set. What is it doing in here?
뭐야? 내가 움직일 수 있구나.
Come here, Sherry. Hurry!
These must help calm her down.
What are you thinking about? Is everything all right? What are you thinking about? Is everything all right?
Don't go, Mother, wait! I remember this artifact from Mother's collection. Mother's work journal. I liked poring over the detailed pages and reading about my parents' collection.
Here it is. We'll just borrow it for a while.
Did you hear that? Someone's coming. Let's take a peek.
You call this progress? Charlotte, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
Any result is progress, even if it is a worsening of her condition. It informs my...
No. I have made my decision. She must be sent to a legitimate medical facility. I will not let her hurt Charlotte.
What? Master Holmes, you do not understand.
That will be all. I expect you to have left the house by week's end.
Sherry, say something. Can you hear me? You're scaring me.
Sherry, come here, darling.
다치겠다는 말이 무슨 말이지?
Sherlock, I'm here. Come closer.
Coming, Mother! This was from my mother, wasn't it? I remember how we came to the garden for a breath of fresh air.
Take me to my flowers, Sherry. They must already be in bloom.
As you wish, Mum. I bet you missed the fresh air, didn't you?
Terribly. The sun is far brighter than I remember. But I like it.
We can walk each day from now on, if you want.
That would be wonderful. Just look at them. The stars of the earth. Even the sky must be jealous of their beauty.
Indeed. Mother, would you like to go around the water?
That would be perfect. I always wanted such a nice pond in London. It looks so peaceful.
Mycroft knew you would like it.
We should put some fish in it, don't you think?
How about some carp?
That's a nice idea.
설마.
Let's visit your father's tree. It grows so fast, just like you.
We could even build a tree house in it.
Yes, Sherry. Speaking of your father, could you call him out, please?
Mom! I'm sorry. He passed away. He's gone.
No, he's not.
I'm telling the truth. Did you forget again?
No! Don't you dare say such things! You are a liar like all the others!
Mother!
Don't call me that! You aren't fooling me!
No! Mum, it hurts!
My son would never lie!
Mum, stop!
Who are you? Reveal yourself!
Please, stop! It's me, Sherlock!
You are not my Sherry! Give me my stuff back or I'll stop you!
이제 출연을 해야 되구나. 내성 증가. 어머니는 진정제를 자주 복용하셨기 때문에 분명 몸에 내성이 있었을 것이다. 진정제는 어머니에게 위험하지 않았을 것이다. 부작용 위험. 빅터 박사는 어머니에게 일반적이지 않은 약물과 치료법을 실험했다. 치료를 할 때마다 부작용이 생길 위험이 있었다. 그렇겠지. 어머니가 나를 죽이려 했다. 어머니가 나를 스톤우드 저택의 연못에 빠뜨려 죽이려 했다. 마이크로프트는 릭터 박사를 비난했다. 마이크로프트는 오토 릭터를 발견한 뒤 그가 어머니를 죽였다고 비난했다. 어머니는 익사했다. 어머니의 목은 살인범이 마지막으로 남긴 모욕의 흔적이었을 수도, 아니면 그녀를 살리려는 절박한 시도였을 수도. 어머니 익사하지 않았다. 어머니 목에 난 베인 상처는 기관 절개술을 시도한 흔적이다. 어머니가 물에 빠졌다면 이건 할 이유가 없다. 근데 목에 왜 기관 절개술을 실해? 정신질환을 앓았던 어머니의 분투는 유전이 되어 내 정신과 이성에 영향을 줬을 수도 있다. 맞네? 그 중에 하나네. 어머니는 처방받은 약에 예상치 못한 알레르기 반응을 보여 식사했다. 존과 나의 책임이다. 어머니는 우리가 건넨 진정제가 들어있는 아침차를 마신 후 알레르기 반응이 일어나 돌아가셨다. 오토 릭터는 바이오렛을 살리려고 했다. 하지만 마이크로프트는 존과 내 책임이라는 걸 알면서도 의도적으로 릭터에게 죄를 전가했다. 존이 범인이다. 나는 모르고 어머니를 죽였다. 어머니에게 진정제를 준다는 생각은 존에게서 나왔다. 즉, 내 정신을 신뢰할 수 없다는 뜻이다. 나를 고치려면 존을 없애야 한다. 마이크로프트는 나를 보호하려 진실을 감췄다. 내가 어머니를 죽였다. 어머니가 돌아가신 건 내 탓이다. 어머니에게 약을 건네는 건 나다. 그리고 그 약은 알레르기 반응을 일으켜 어머니를 죽였다. 내 책임이다. 마이크로프트는 나를 보호하려고 진실을 감췄다. 뭐하지? 그 다음에 딴 건 뭘까? 써볼까? 오토 릭터의 책임이다. 나의 어머니 바이올렛은 오토 릭터 때문에 익사했다. 마이크로프트는 살인 혐의를 제기했지만 오토가 어머니를 의도적으로 살해했는지는 분명하지 않다. 계획적인 살인. 오토는 어머니의 고통을 끝내고 나를 구하려 어머니를 죽였다. 마이크로프트는 나를 보호하려고 진실을 감췄지만 부도덕한 행동을 저질렀다며 오토를 비난했던 그 주장은 옳았다. 사고. 오토는 나를 구하려다가 어머니를 죽였다. 익사는 사고였지만 그는 어머니를 구하려고 필사적으로 기관절개를 시도했다. 마이크로프트는 나를 보호하려 진실을 감췄고 부당하게 오토의 탓으로 돌렸다. 야, 전혀 아니지. 이거지. 존에게서 나왔다. 즉, 내 정신을 신뢰할 수 없다는 뜻이다. 이렇게 하면 존이 사라지는 거야? 존의 탓을 돌리는 거야? 그거지 뭐.
Sherlock. Sherlock. Can you hear me? Come on, wake up.
Get off me.
Sherry,
You knew, and more than that, you hid it from me.
you couldn't bear the truth, Sherlock, so I shouldered it for you. I took your pain, your horror.
I killed my own mother, John. It is unforgivable.
It was an accident, Sherlock. She was mad, abusive. You were a child, simply trying to help.
How could I? How could she? You were a lie, John. A fiction. A crutch.
No, I was a friend. Sherlock, please.
Sherlock,
What?
are you okay?
I don't know.
I told you not to come, Sherlock. Where is he?
Who?
Your friend, John.
He's beside you.
Was all this worth it? Is he worth it?
Why is he here?
I think, in his own way, he was trying to protect me. A truth I couldn't bear. But now I must face it. There is only one thing to be done.
What are you talking about?
To expect adherence to the principles of truth and justice, but to fail to hold oneself likewise accountable, it would be hypocrisy. My mother died by my hand. I must turn myself into the authorities and face the consequences of my actions.
The consequences of your actions? You were a child. She did this to you, not you unto her. You are throwing your life away in an act of moralistic vanity. Think of all you could accomplish for our nation.
This is where we differ, Mycroft. To you, the ends justify the means. To me, the means have decided the end. The truth is the truth.
Fine, Sherlock. Walk yourself into the police station and pray those men you oft embarrassed hold no grudges. If you're lucky, they'll simply exile you. If not, I'll see you in 20 years.
Are you going to berate me too? Try and talk me out of it? As I told my brother, if I cannot demonstrate the character I chastise others for lacking.
Sherry, I think this is something you will have to do yourself.
Myself? How do you mean?
All I ever did, all I ever wanted, was to protect you from what happened. And now you tell me I was wrong to try, that it was ego or hypocrisy to show a young boy kindness. But it was just empathy, creativity, and love for one's self. So please, please, Sherlock, don't do it.
Why can none of you see it? The truth is the truth. A murder is a murder. Tell me, John, why?
Because you're breaking my heart. I know you've decided. I know. I just wish you hadn't.
I'm sorry, John. All these years we spent together, all the time I took for granted. You'll always be a part of me.
No, Sherry. That's the point. I don't think I will.
Why are you here?
Closure, I suppose. And to help a friend.
You and I are not friends. In a race between the thawing of the ice caps and our friendship, I would buy a boat.
Ha! Is that right?
I can see it now. I know what you did.
What did I do?
You needled me. From the moment we met, you were searching for weakness. You pushed me to pursue the truth about my mother. You questioned everything I did, everything I believed, to break me. To blur truth and fiction, reality, morality. A saboteur in silk. Was it vengeance, Werner? Or do you prefer Klaus?
Excuse me?
You are Klaus Richter, Otto's younger brother. Do you hold me responsible for his end?
Ha! There was no love lost between me and my brother. I am sure you can relate. Otto was merely the gravity that pulled me into your orbit. Or you into mine. Once I met you, I could not keep away.
Why? What reason do you have for all this?
To help you.
You're lying.
To show you that you were wrong.
More lies. I know you now, Werner. Try again.
To see what had happened. Or is that yet another untruth? Does it matter? Take your pick. Who cares? You're my masterpiece. I turned Sisyphus into Ozymandias. You could not see the futility of your quest until I helped you to let go of the rock. And now, nothing beside remains.
I remain. Despite you and to spite you.
It is a matter of will and power now. Will you overcome this, or shall you decay? Oh, on that note, I brought you something.
I want nothing more from you.
When one wants for nothing, Sherlock, the best thing to get them is something personal. So, here you are. Now, please excuse me, but the gallery calls. I'm already conceiving my next project. You really are beautiful.
I was prepared to take responsibility for my actions, but again my brother conspired against me. A little diplomatic pressure and the trial was dismissed. Instead, I was exiled from Cordona. Freedom never tasted so bitter. Another perversion of justice at Mycroft's hand. With no means, no home, and no purpose, I returned to London. I enrolled at Cambridge University, but few lectures held my interest. I prefer to spend time alone at the hospital laboratory, pursuing truths in chemical form. No one there questions my choices. I have begun to attract a desperate clientele, men that skulk after me, pleading for answers to their simple mysteries. At first, the distraction was unwelcome. Now, I find myself craving it, lest my mind drift back to the island, to Mother, to John. What was her life worth? How many adulterers and petty thieves will it take to make it right? Can anything? I found it! I found it! I found it!
And what is that?
How far, bruises may be produced after death. How are you? You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive.
How on earth did you know that?
Never mind. The question now is about bruising. No doubt you see the significance of this discovery of mine.
It is interesting, no doubt, but practically...
Why, it is the most practical medico-legal discovery for years. Had we these data sooner, hundreds of men would have paid the penalty for their crime. Cases oft hinge upon how a man died. Now, we can know which wounds he suffered alive, which occurred post-mortem, and what instrument was responsible, and ergo, one will soon be able to calculate with utmost precision when and where death occurred, sparing the innocent and damning the guilty.
Well, then you are to be congratulated.
Indeed. But, you came here on business.
Correct again. I am looking for someone with whom to take diggings, and heard you were complaining that you could get no one to go halves with.
I have my eye on a suite in Baker Street, which would suit us down to the ground. You don't mind the smell of strong tobacco, I hope?
I smoke ships myself.
That's good enough. I get in the dumps at times, and don't open my mouth for days on end. Just let me alone, and I'll soon be right. What have you to confess now? It's best for two fellows to know what bruises each other carries before they begin to live together. My last companion and I...
Well, I object to rows because my nerves are shaken, and I get up at all sorts of ungodly hours, and I am extremely late. I have another set of vices when I'm well, but those are the principal ones at present.
Do you include violin playing in your category for rout?
It depends on the player. A well-played violin is a treat for the gods. A badly played one.
Oh, no, that's all right. I think we may consider the thing as settled. Oh, forgive my manners. My attention wavers. Sherlock Holmes.
Dr. John Watson.
John.
오우. 끝났군. 끝났네요. 뭐 DLC도 있고 뭐 여러 가지가 있긴 하지만 어쨌든 메인 스토리는 다 끝났네요. 게임 자체는 오픈월드로 만들었지만 오픈월드로서의 가치를 체험해 보려면 다양한 곳곳에서 벌어지는 서브 미션들, 서브 사건들을 다 해봐야 되는데 그걸 안 해봐가지고 메인만 쭉 달려가지고 즐기지는 못했네요. 그러나 엔딩이 멀티 엔딩인 것 같은데 나중에 또 해보려면 해볼 수 있겠죠. 건너